What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Unscripted Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Eduardo. I'm here with my co-host, Edward. What is up, Edward?
Hello, Eduardo.
Um,
What's up?
How's everything? Not much, not much. How was your Thanksgiving?
Uh, Not bad, not bad. There was one bright spot in the Thanksgiving. I see that finally, after 13 weeks, the boy finally made some money. Ha
Ah, now is that real money or prop money?
Oh, there'll be plenty of props. But
I won
but
last week. Don't worry. I won last week.
yeah,
You won this week. Um, but yeah, man. We didn't record last week. The holidays coming. It was the holiday weekend, and we didn't have time to record. But we're here. We're back with another episode. Um, we had a Thanksgiving games. Some games were kind of not that great. Some games were better. Then we had the Black Friday game,
yeah,
which
the
the
Amazon
Chiefs
game.
ended the Amazon game. Chiefs ended up winning. For some reason, I thought it was on Netflix, so I checked Netflix first, but it turned out to be on Amazon. I kind of forgot that that's not one. It's not on Netflix. Um, but yeah, man, week 13 just it's about to end right now. The Broncos are taking on the Browns, and the Browns are winning right now. Um, but yeah, man, let's just get right into it. What is your takeaway from week 13?
My takeaway from week 13. There's really a lot
Besides,
of things.
besides your team, we'll get to them, but besides your team,
Takeaways from week 13. Kind of not really much, but I guess if you just want to get into it,
no, I mean there was a lot of good games.
if you want to really get into it, I think probably the two leading candidates for MVP right now are either Josh Allen or Saquon Barkley.
I know,
I'm
man.
pro I'm personally probably leaning towards Saquon, but Josh
It's
Allen,
it's 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 tough. Right now I'm leaning with Josh Allen. I thought Josh Allen should have been the favorite even when Lamar was playing well. Obviously he has went down in Saquon, but Saquon for sure has elevated the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, Kind of that missing piece that they were kind of needed last season and the help with the offensive line now that they have. But Saquon Barkley, I think he is. It's tough, man. But the way that Josh Allen has been played, it's right now. Look, everybody kind of knows the MVP is kind of like a quarterback award.
I
Um,
mean,
but like I mean, I do see Saquon. There's a chance for him to win it, but the way that Josh Allen has been playing,
I
um,
mean, yeah, it is. I know the last recent years it's been always going to quarterbacks, but honestly, excuse me, but honestly, I think the reason why Saquon should be leading is making his case for MVPs because not only are the Philadelphia Eagles sitting at 10-2 right now, but when you watch him play, he's always been a great running back, but specifically with the Eagles, I think his running is what's really been winning them games
mhm.
outside of their defense, Jalen Hurts not turning the ball over. But yeah,
And then their new play calling, new play caller with
like
Kellen Moore.
every like back-to-back weeks, Saquon's always had that home run hitting touchdown. That's pretty much won the Eagles the game. The games are always in. So I think that's really what's leading his case for MVP. And if I
Let
could get what's
what
it, trying to figure out what's his current stats right now. He's already
what
got he has 1,499 rushing yards this season. Already has 11 touchdowns.
mhm.
So
All right, let's jump right into the Eagles took on the Ravens. It was in Baltimore. Um, the battle of the two leading rushers was Dan Henry and Saquon. Man, it what is happening to Baltimore? Like they started the season really good, and then the big story, I mean, like also what is going on with Tucker, the kicker? Like,
I thought you were gonna go back to how they didn't really. I mean, the
I mean,
Ray.
yeah, let's get to it. Like, they didn't really like. I feel like Lamar. I don't know. He there was a lot of chances that he could have run. and like run. Usually we does and extend the play, but it's just like I don't know, just he just took the sack and obviously caused them to kick the longer field goal, and which led to Justin Tucker to miss the field goals, miss like what like two or three field goals, one extra kick, two field goals. Um, Derrick Henry really didn't. I mean, 19 carries for 82 yards and he score. I mean
I
that
mean,
that affected a lot of people's parlays or bets. But I mean, yeah, I
it's
mean they didn't look good, and the Eagles have right now between the Lions and them, they are the best teams right now
into the
in the
NFC.
NFC. And honestly, I think right now, I think they're the best team right now in the NFC because the Lions have a lot of injuries defensively, and if they didn't have that, they would be the best team. But right now, the way that the Eagles have been playing, you know, I think could be right now the best team in the NFC. Now that could change if they lose next week or they lose. The fans will quickly turn around. We already know how Eagles fans are. Right now they're loving them, but next week they lose, and it's like they wanna they wanna fire Nick Sirianni or something. But yeah, man, Saquon 23 carries for 107 yards, one touchdown. Jalen Hurts obviously with tush push touchdown. Um, AJ Brown 66 yards. But yeah, man, these Eagles are rolling, and which is good for you because they beat the Ravens. Ravens are 85, and it's kind of leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers right now
I
first in the
mean,
division with what? How many games? How many games? Up like three, two.
yeah, the Steelers are currently, yeah, we're two. We still have first place in the NFC, AFC North.
Uh-huh.
We're 2-1 in the division right now
Yeah. But man, what's your thoughts on the game?
on the Steelers
The
Cincinnati
no,
game.
no, 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 no. Eagles Ravens, real quick.
Yeah, like what you said. I mean, yeah, the Eagles are rolling right now. I'm looking at their schedule right now. Their next opponent is on Sunday against, well, the Carolina Panthers. So,
But hey, the Panthers have have improved. They gave the Chiefs a little scare, and then they almost beat the Bucks. So we'll never know. Like those games that you're kind of supposed to win, usually end up kind of being like the tough ones. They give you a tough.
yeah, I mean, yeah, the Panthers are improving, but back to what you said about the Eagles, it's just like what makes them such a threat is they can beat you running that ball, and also their defense is very physical. Like
Mhm.
not just with how Cooper DeJean laid out Derrick Henry on that one play, but even they got a guy on that defensive line, Jalen Carter. He's
Oh
that
no,
dude.
that Jalen
Yeah,
Carter
that
is a
dude's a monster.
monster. He definitely would have been like top 10 picks if he wouldn't have the off field issues, but man, they got a steal for him in the first round. Yeah, defensively they have gone better. Obviously they got the white corners, Dejean Blankenship.
Yeah, I believe they're being
What
called exciting whites.
the the
If you
exciting
want to go there.
the exciting whites. Oh man, but the Eagles defensively have been playing well. Offensively, they're playing well, and they're gonna be they're definitely a tough stretch team to beat.
Yeah,
Um,
but back to the Ravens. Not only were you just bringing up like Justin Tucker's misses, but I think
now,
what ultimately also lost in that game was I forgot what the exact stat was, but I think when Derrick Henry has a certain amount of carries, he's been helping the
but
Ravens win
But
games.
that is the thing. Like, why did they stop running the ball? Like,
Hmm.
that's what affected them in the AFC Championship. Like,
That was
they didn't start,
you
and
just made the point I was exactly about to say. They just got away from running the ball, and but now you're kind of saying if they don't run the ball, that's the easy way to beat them.
yeah, and it's just like you brought Derrick Henry for one reason is to for them to run the ball, and which obviously you didn't run the ball in the AFC Championship. That's why you lost, and you brought Derrick Henry. And then you still have another running back with Justice Hill, and then
Hmm.
Lamar is another threat. But like I said, Lamar, like I don't know for some reason when he played against your Steelers, he didn't look that good. During the Chargers, he played a little bit better. But another good defensive team with the Eagles,
I mean,
he hasn't been playing.
He's been in the MVP conversation, but and he still is. But the thing is, I think with this offense, with this new play caller, I think they're trying to establish him more as a passer. But and he's been improving as a passer, but
for sure.
I
I
think
mean,
yeah, I
his
think a lot of
receivers need to
teams
catch the
game
ball.
a lot of teams game plan is to like make him throw to
Hmm
kind of like that's the way they can beat them to kind of
I
like get
mean,
away from that running game.
I mean, he has offensive. He has weapons. He has Bateman, Zay Flowers. They brought Deontay Johnson. I have not even seen him like anything from him. But man, we'll see. You got them in what, in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks?
Uh,
They probably got to buy.
yeah, the Ravens are currently on a bye week right now.
Yeah. Um, but let's move on to your Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Bengals, and Cincinnati. Man, this game was a lot of points scored in the. I mean, a lot of points. I don't even know what the over under was on points, but I mean, a lot of points. Surprisingly, you guys scored 44 points.
I mean, yeah, you could say that. I mean,
Surprisingly, and the Bengals obviously they were going to score points. Just defensively, they just give their defense just gives us so many points. Uh man, like honestly, it just like what's going on with the Bengals? Like I feel bad for Joe Burrow. Like, look, Joe Burrow would have been an MVP candidate if he just like had a winning team. Because look, this is his stats right now. This is stats this season. He has thrown for 3,377 3,337 yards. He's first in the NFL. First in passing TDs, 30. He has 5 interceptions and his QBR is 73.9, which is third in the NFL. So clearly it's not Joe Burrow's like it's not Joe Burrow. It is.
truthfully, I think that defense is just taking a step back for reasons I truly don't know why. But I mean, it is interesting, and I understand that they are a rival. But I remember that I think there's just really something I kind of need to announce on this podcast. Truthfully, I think sometimes you kind of just need an alter ego, and I've decided to kind of like take on a new profession of being a chef.
uh,
And
uh,
yeah, I kind of said prop. I wasn't meaning like player props when I said when I was talking about props.
Props to be used.
Yeah, try to see if the lighting's really getting what's
No,
really
it's
on
not.
this.
It's not really getting. I kind of see what it is, but you would have moved a little bit.
Well, it's not rendering.
I mean, just a little bit because it's white. Well, he has a chef's hat. Can you just say? Can you tell the audience what it's saying?
Yeah,
Kind of hard to see.
yeah, I
Just kind of
believe it's saying. I
show
believe
show
it's
show show it on your thing. Show it on your screen.
yeah. It says let Russ cook, but yeah, like I was saying, I decided to be a cook, and I just feel like seeing that money I had and all these props, a lot of my ideas are kind of unlimited, and they're very unlimited. I
Mr.
got a lot of
Unlimited.
things going on because our quarterback Russell Wilson, he went 29 for 38 for 414 passing yards and 3 touchdowns.
Nah, what is that? That he is what, the third quarterback in Pittsburgh history for throw for 400 plus yards.
I'm just saying, I think that's his. I think that might be the second most he's had in his career, actually.
But I'm saying Pittsburgh quarterback history. I think he's like the third quarterback.
You can
Um,
say that.
but yeah, I mean like Russell Wilson cooked. Obviously, you guys lost on last Thursday. It was a snowy game. It was in Cleveland, divisional game. You guys lost. You guys moved forward, took on the Bengals, beat them. Russ cooked. Because, like I
And
said,
it was.
Cincinnati's defense is garbage.
I'm just saying
They're
it
garbage.
was Thanksgiving weekend. Maybe he wanted to cook. Maybe
And
he got
hold on,
inspired by that Glorilla song, What a Cook. I
Let-
understand his wife went as her for Halloween, but
but yeah,
who
man,
knows?
what is your thoughts on your Pittsburgh Steelers right now? They are 9-3.
I mean, I see the record and I understand we talked a lot about how insanely great the defense is, but I want to say something about it's not just the defense that made their plays, but the offense in particular. even going back to week one when Justin Fields was starting for an injured Russell Wilson, like what I'm seeing with this offense now, I didn't always necessarily need to see splash plays from the offense or
Mhm.
like
But
exciting exotic plays, but
but it's because the offense really wasn't showing anything like
yeah,
in
going
the
back
first couple of weeks.
from week one to what I see now is like I feel like the offense is capable of taking on anybody, really taking on anybody in the AFC.
Now there is time, like you said, they relied on Boswell, and they didn't really score that many points, just field goals. So seeing that they scored 44 points on the Bengals defense, yes, it was the Bengals defense, but they were able to score. Russell Wilson threw it to 10 receivers. Um, George Pickens with 3 catches, 74 yards, 1 touchdown. Fryermuth, 6 catches for 68 yards and 1 touchdown. And Calvin Austin, 2 catches for 29 yards and 1 touchdown. So he's been spreading the ball a lot with this
I
team.
mean, he also,
Mike Williams is still not incorporated in the offense. I guess he's not. They're not really using him right now. I think he's probably still learning the offense, or
he's also
he's
still,
not needed.
you've got to throw in that Najee kind of ran the ball for 16 carries, 75 yards. Oh, and he got in the end zone. Certain betters don't really. I think a lot of people have some. I
Look,
think you
man.
know what specific better I'm talking about, but certain betters they have some qualms with Najee getting in the end zone, but
I mean, he
still
has
showing he's capable of getting in there.
he has affected a lot of people's parlays and bets because that was last season, last season, a little bit in the beginning of this season, but he has improved. Like I said, Artie Smith has opened his playbook. This offense is playing really well. You're confident in this team that they, like you say, you can go. They, like you said, they can score points on any team right now, especially in the AFC. The contenders right now. The Kansas City,
Mhm.
Buffalo, obviously Baltimore. Now we've seen the Texans, the Chargers also right now in the playoffs, in the wild card right now. Like you feel confident in this offense. Obviously, the defense is going to be there. The defense. What did it do? Did 2 forced fumbles on Joe Burrow and what? One interception, one tipped interception.
Yeah, I think the defense caused about two or three turnovers,
Uh-huh. Obviously, that
and
one interception was the tip. T. Higgins tipped it, and um,
was it still not an interception?
yeah, I mean, I'm saying it's an interception. I'm just calling it interception. But the T.J. Watt forced the fumble, and then forgot who it was at another fumble. Uh,
You're talking about the Peyton Willis fumble.
yeah. Um, but like I said, the defense is always going to be there. But you're confident in this team now, from what you've seen. Like you said, from week 1 to now to week 13, you're very confident in this team that they can really make a playoff push, a deep playoff push.
Yeah, I mean, people were like questioning the offense about. I understand there were times when Boswell kind of bailed us out, but he's become doing that for a very long time, and like it just gives me a sense of relief and confidence that if the offense can't do anything, we still got Boswell, but there's still times the offense will still be able to do something. And
Mhm.
like I said, I got all the trust in Artie to even with the defense, even when the opposing team still scores points, I still have enough confidence that Artie's going to call something that can still keep the team in games.
Mhm. They still use a little bit of Justin Fields. Obviously, that one was
To
it to
play
seal the
the
game? Yeah, to
Yeah,
seal
to
the
play to
game,
seal
right?
the game.
To
Yeah.
seal the game. So you never know. He could be in the game any moment. Um, but yeah, man, you guys have a tough stretch right now. Well, coming up, you guys got the Browns on Sunday. Then you have the Eagles. We just talked about the Eagles. It's in Philly. That's another test for you guys. Another really good team. Um, then you got to go to Baltimore, and then you got Kansas City, which could be a potential playoff matchup. But it's in Pittsburgh. So those are and then you got the Bengals again. But you have three tough matchups, two outside the division. Um,
Yep. I
how do you
mean,
do
just
you feel confident against the Eagles and the Chiefs after seeing what the Chiefs did against the Raiders and obviously what the Panthers kind of did to them? You feel confident?
well. objectively speaking, I do feel that maybe our true test may come against Christmas when you have to face the Chiefs, considering they are the defending champions. And
Hmm.
I know a lot of people, even though they currently stand at 11-1, and people have been saying people have been observing the Chiefs lately that they kind of do win ugly, and they still only lost one game this entire season.
Hmm.
I'm
Probably should have
still
lost
not,
against they still have lost against the Raiders, but
but even though like their wins have still been kind of ugly, I'm still gonna say the Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and I don't even want
but
to.
now this
I
is a
still,
home game though. It's a home game though. It's a
I
home
mean,
game.
yeah, like we're gonna
You're at
come.
home.
I still believe this team's gonna come. The Steelers are still gonna come and compete, but I also understand that. I mean, I still remember even last year, we still
Yeah.
questioned Patrick Mahomes and how the Chiefs are still performing and they still won the Super Bowl. So I've been mindful of not doing that this year,
No, for
even
sure. Yeah.
even still questioning them during the regular season. I still have all the confidence they're going to figure it out once the postseason comes. So we can just leave it at that.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens um with your Steelers. Like I said, they got to go against the Browns one more time.
But I also have
Um,
to, I know we're trying to put a button on that, but I also had to add that even, yeah, you said that we're currently sitting at 9-3. Just want to throw out another tidbit. Another year, Mike Tomlin does not have a losing season. We're going to
see,
finish above
not
500 for the
not
18th year in a row.
you should have you should have placed a bet then. You should have placed a bet then. Another their over was 8.5 games. You
I
should have
mean,
done. You should have put it.
the money was funny at the time, but I'm always going to have, I'm always going to believe.
For next year. Um, yeah, let's just talk about some quick games that that happened. Where we talk Buffalo. Let's talk about the Chargers. The Chargers have been playing really. They lost against the Ravens last week. Man, the Chargers have been they've been playing well. Defensively, for sure, has really improved. Like from what we had last season, and obviously Brandon Stanley was a defensive minded coach, and the defense was horrible, man. Their defense was horrible. We picked off Kirk Cousins, Kirk Bangs 4 times. Probably there's one interception where he probably should have never thrown that fucking pick, but he fucking threw it. Um,
You talk about
Derwin
like
James,
that. You talk about that triple coverage pick.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
looking
So
back at that play. I was like, I didn't even know who the hell was open. I don't know what he saw on that play.
everybody was there. Derwin James had the game-winning interception, 10 tackles, and obviously, still he had he had 2 interceptions, one for pick six. He is he University of Maryland, obviously all alma mater. He went to the University of Maryland, But man, these Chargers have been playing really well defensively. Herbert really didn't have to do much. It wasn't a high scoring game. They won 17-13. Herbert only really threw just for 147. It was really the defense that really stepped up for the Chargers. Like I said, with Jim Harbaugh, we're always gonna be confident with him. I was already confident with him despite that, all the players that we let go. But man, we needed one of these damn receivers needs to like improve because Lad McConkey cannot fucking do it all every single game. Lad had 9 catches for 117. Everybody else had the second person behind him was Quinn Johnson with 12 yards and 2 catches. So somebody
I
as a receiver
mean,
gotta step up, man. Because
you guys still won the game, but
come on,
I
look.
think with that score, I think it's still apparent that you guys are still. I know Harbaugh wanted to establish a run game, but
And remember, we
it's
have
kind of apparent.
no J.K. Dobbins, no
Yeah,
J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins on IR, so he's gonna miss 4 games. But I'm looking at the wide receivers. I'm just like, well, somebody else then, other than Lad, and he's a rookie, got to step up. Obviously, the defense really improved. Quinn Johnson, there's some games that he does well, and there's other games that he does not catch anything, and he just drops the ball. Quinn Johnson had 12 catches, 12 yards. Joshua Palmer had 1 catch and 11 yards. Um, Will Disley had nothing, and he's been really good for a tight end. But I mean, and I think Lad. got out too because he had a shoulder injury, but he came back. But I mean, like I said, we won this game. We have the Chiefs next. Now we always play the Chiefs well, but it's just for some reason, kind of like in the fourth quarter, they just kind of like it slips away. So we have to win this game because obviously, there's other teams trying to get a chance for the wild card. We got the Bucks. That's gonna be a tough matchup. Then we got the Broncos. The Broncos have been playing well right now. They're winning 21-10 against the Browns. The Patriots should be an easy win, but we'll see. And then the Raiders. But man, yeah, man, we'll see. The first year with Harbaugh as a coach, and right now they're
I
in
mean,
playoff contention. And
you really do you believe in like Gus Edwards will kind of hold it down while J.K.'s getting
well, we have this other guy named Vidal, so he's been playing really well. Um,
mhm.
so we'll see. I see it. Like I said, he the offense has been trying to get like a run heavy offense, a tough, but the defense really stepped up. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Gus Edwards only had 32 yards for his catches. And honestly, they won because of the defense. Like I said, Kirk Cousins only threw for 4 interceptions. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, man. Any last thoughts before we end this podcast? Any
uh,
last any games? Like I said, the Broncos are winning 21-10 right now. The Jets season is pretty much done.
I
It's
mean,
It's Aaron Rodgers' birthday today. Happy
I
birthday, Aaron
said,
Rodgers. But the Jets are done right now.
I mean, I did say I felt like the Niners are finished. They are 5-7, but
Oh,
losing. I just knew something was going to be something bad. Was
oh,
just I want to say something bad was going to happen, but just if they're going to really rely on that run game and that cold and having, I mean, I would expect Christian McCaffrey to have a big game, but for something just like
but
the
both running
overuse of him
backs,
in that cold, something was just telling me someone was going to go bad. He's been
and
dealing with
it's
those injuries since week one.
and the snow, like some of the players were slipping. But I mean, like both running back, Jordan Mason, he's out. McCaffrey's out. He's on one IR right now. They place him
Yeah, I
on
think.
IR. They place him on IR, but they were saying that he could be out for the whole season. Like, now this is a serious question. Do you think their time is up? Like their Super Bowl window is it has been closing. Obviously this season has been horrible, not what expected. But do you think it is closed? Their Super Bowl window.
I mean, they've had a lot of injuries, and
A lot of teams have a lot of injuries, but
and Mike Shanahan, he's a proven play caller, but his Achilles heel is that he always kind of just choke in the big games, and I think honestly, until he win a Super Bowl, like that narrative's still always going to follow him. But
they have a tough schedule. I am not gonna lie, they have a tough schedule. I
when
mean,
it comes
besides,
to them, I think it just comes down to like health, and I don't want to say it's closed, but it might be closing.
it's either now or never, man. Because they did not look good at all. And they still got to pay
Like
Brock Purdy, and they still got to pay Brock Purdy. Remember,
next year, they can still probably do something, but I think the whole core has to be healthy: offense, defense, special
Trent
teams.
Williams is not there, obviously. Um,
Fred
who else was
Warner had to
out?
go on IR.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk is still. Remember, he was out for the season.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of injuries that they've had, like I said, but they have a tough schedule. They have the Bears, the Rams, the Dolphins, the Lions, and then end it with the Cardinals. And that division is very tough right now. The AFC, what is it? The NFC, what is it? AFC, the NFC, what? The NFC, what, the West,
NFC West.
NFC
Yeah.
West is tough right now. I don't know who, with the Rams are leading it right now.
No, I think the Seahawks are actually leading it right now.
Let me see. Oh yeah, Geno Smith's Geno Smith, they're 7-5. Cardinals are 6-6. The Rams are 6-6. So the Niners still have a chance mathematically. They just not looked at at all. The NFC North it's a tight one. The Lions are 11-1. The Vikings are 10-2. The Packers are 9-3, and then the Bears are just the same old Bears. They're 4-8, and they fired Matt Eberflus. I get that they fired him last what Friday? Fired on
I believe
Friday.
it was the day
Yeah, I
after
mean,
Thanksgiving.
I mean, we knew it was gonna happen. Once they did not call timeout that whole disaster. Like it just bad coaching, time management, everything. You kind of knew that they were gonna fire him. It was a matter of time. So this season, pretty much, did they get
I would expect him not to be back next season. So
not? But I'm saying like, who did they get? Lincoln Riley. I'm sure the Commanders are not gonna they're not gonna want to get let go of Cliff. There's no way in hell they're
maybe
gonna want to get rid of him. They're gonna
they
pay the new
probably
owners, Magic Johnson.
they
They're gonna
probably
pay
don't want to get rid of him, but maybe you never know. Maybe Ryan Poles will probably get desperate, and he'll probably give him a good.
him.
He can give him a good paycheck.
But they're gonna want to pay too. And do you want the headache of being a head coach? Because you know what
That is
happens in
also
Chicago,
that
and
is
in
true. That's
Chicago
a
too.
valid point. You make
You
a
don't
valid
want that
point.
right now. Obviously, like with Ben Johnson and all them, the Lions paid them to stay. So the Commanders are gonna want him. They're gonna pay for him to stay, and I'm sure he doesn't really care. He already made so much money from being a head coach in Arizona. He had a headache there, and
I
I the
mean, the
and
NFL is the
my
copycat league. Like the Bears brought in Caleb Williams because he kind of does. I guess like his player comp once coming out of the draft was Patrick Mahomes, and now I guess Patrick Mahomes' success kind of like shook up the whole young quarterback thing about trying to hit immediately in the draft.
Mhm.
So maybe Ryan Poles gets desperate, probably trying to get Caleb to recreate some of the magic created in USC, do that in the Windy City, and get his
Yeah.
old coordinator back together.
And then maybe next season the punter won't punt up as much like he promised the punter. So we'll see. But yeah, man, till then, we'll be back with another episode. Peace.
Bye. Maybe I'll cook some Skyline chili.
All right.